Hello, 8th grade. This is a short week for you. Hooray! Only one English assignment this week. And it's a pretty easy one. I hope that you enjoy it. It's one of my favorite things to do. It is watching a documentary about spoken word poetry or slam poetry. And this particular documentary is called Louder Than a Bomb. And it came out in, I think, 2010. So it follows four high school seniors in their quest to become louder than the bomb champions. So your job is to watch the documentary. I've provided this link for you. So the website looks like this. It should be it's on the whitelist, so you should be able to just literally click this link and then hit play, and it should play. If you have issues with it, let me know, and I will see if I can come up with something different for you, or maybe we can watch it together through like a screencast. It is not rated, I don't think, but it does have some language in it like that you would normally hear from high school seniors, just so if you are watching like around your parents or little kids, just know that this has been approved by York Academy to be shown to you. I asked permission. We got all the right things in place. So you'll be watching this documentary, and you'll be following the stories of four teenagers. The teenagers or the poets are Nate, Adam, Nova, and Lamar. And then the last box is actually about the Steinmetz team. They have a poem that they do at regionals or the state competition that's really great. So I want you to just take some notes on that. And so your notes going across are like biographical info. So where does this poet come from? What's their life like? And then writing and performance style. This is where you're going to put like, what do they write their poems about? How do they perform? And a lot of that will make sense once you start watching it. Spoken word or slam poetry is poetry that's meant to be performed, right? It's meant to be heard. It's going to sound a lot like hip hop or rap for some of you, especially some of these poets will sound a lot like that. Adam, I mean, not so much. He's like a white Jewish kid, so he's really not going to sound like hip hop. But spoken word is meant to be performed. So think about like their hand movements that they use or how they present themselves, like if they use any body movements. Is it all words? Do they use like some harmony, some lyrics, like some song elements? And then you can also think about like any poetic devices that you hear, like personification, simile, metaphor, repetition, anything like that. And then this last box is just, what do you think? What do you think about the poems and the poets? Like, what is your opinion on them? The chart is criteria B, so this is like an organizing grade. If you want to do this chart on paper, you can. Like, you don't have to do it here in the Google Doc. If you don't want to split your screen, you can make the chart on paper and watch on your screen and then write. You just have to take photo evidence for me, and then submit it back. In this chart, you can use bullet points or make notes. And then the second part of this are these 4 post viewing questions. Okay, so you're going to answer these in 3 to 4 sentences or more. Answer all parts of the question with analysis or reflection. So really think about what you saw, what you heard, and how you can apply that to these different questions. Most of these are opinion-based, which means they're not wrong as long as you include a because in your response. You can also use evidence from your chart or the documentary as you deem necessary, right? So you're going to want to go back and pull evidence if you need to. You don't have to. It's not required. Again, there are 4 questions. So which student in the film do you find the most captivating? Captivating means like, who are you drawn to? Who do you like the most? Like, who speaks to you? Is it the poetry? Is it their personality? Or is it both? Okay, maybe it's their life story. Maybe it's where they come from. Okay, so you want to choose one of the poets and tell me why you identify with them the most. The second one, is about a particular line or moment from the film that you can remember, and discuss why. So when we talk about this, maybe like in class, I can tell you my answers to these questions. But for right now, I just want you to think about them, and answer them however you feel. Okay. So this is just whichever. So the first question is about like the poet that you're drawn to or the student. The second question is about the poem or the line from a poem that speaks to you. Okay. And in this documentary, you're going to hear this phrase, the point is not the points, the point is the poetry. So while it is a competition, the goal of the competition is to have students write and experience poetry. So why do you think that this important saying applies to those who are participating, and how does it take away their fear of performing if they're, stage fright? And finally, what similarities do you find between spoken word poetry and music, especially rap or hip hop, and what differences are there? So the chart is a criteria B grade for organizing, and the responses are a criteria C grade for producing text. I will be available to you on Wednesday from 1 to 1:30 if you have questions about this, if you've watched it and you want to talk about it. For me, this documentary it really spoke to me, and it spoke to my heart, and all the things that I love about English, about reading, about poetry. They're really all present here in this documentary, and what I'm trying to accomplish, like as your teacher, is what a lot of these teachers are trying to accomplish with their students. So I really love this documentary. It really speaks to my heart, and it helps me. It gives me goosebumps every time I watch it. I love it. So I hope you love it too, and I hope we can talk about it soon.